Hello, everyone, and welcome to. I have the stream not muted. Dang it! I thought I was gonna do so good. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 109 of Critical ReRoll, where we talk about Critical Role episode 33. I am Dustin, and I am a dancing queen.
I am Kate, and I'm a super trooper.
I'm Jess. Take a chance on me.
Oh, Mamma Mia! Do we have an episode for you tonight?
We're
Man.
so professional.
I mean, really, the only thing that is the biggest thing to talk about that happens in this episode. And we're going to take a lot of time to talk about it. But we probably shouldn't get to it yet. I don't have any notes, so I don't know why I'm leading the discussion. So, Kate, I'm going to pass the torch over to you to lead.
All right. So this episode is episode 109 of our podcast and episode 33 of Campaign 2 for Critical Role. And we pick up with our friends the Mighty Nine headed to the beach.
Let's go to the
beach. As we find out that 4 of them have never seen the ocean.
I guess this was kind of a beach episode.
Yeah,
it's a lot more murdery than a lot of
I don't know. When I go to the beach, it's pretty murdery. So.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's just how
we all enjoy the beach differently, I guess.
I guess
we only got like a portion of the episode on the beach. I think there's still opportunity for an entire beach episode.
Oh, for sure.
If we remember, Vox Machina had an entire beach episode. It was wonderful.
And these guys are much more crazy than their predecessors.
Yes. So we get some crazy beach time. It turns out that Caleb and Bo and Knot and Caduceus have never seen the ocean. So we get some pretty fun descriptions from Ford trying to explain it before they actually get there. As someone who only usually goes to the Jersey Shore, that is not at all how the beaches look around here. I've only seen such descriptions when I was visiting St. Thomas once. But talking about how beautiful it is, and it's as far as you can see. You look to the left, and you look to the right, and you look to that line all the way out there, and it's all ocean. And as someone who just went to the beach last week, I miss it. I want to go back. I wish I was still on vacation.
As someone who would cut class often and just go to the beach when he was going to school in Hawaii, I miss the beach as well.
As someone who only has lakes, but whose family comes from an island. Beaches.
Beaches.
It's unanimous, beaches. Guys. We like beaches. We are all basic beach lovers.
basic beaches.
That's the subtitle of the episode.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
Goodbye. We're done.
We do get some wacky fun times on said beach. We get Bo doing her little Karate Kid-esque jumping from rock to rock.
I like that she actually meditated for the first time in her life, too.
For 10 minutes, but yes, she did. Meditated voluntarily for the first time in her life. I would not have been able to do that. I would have fallen off the rocks very quickly because those things are slippery.
She's a monk.
Yeah, I know she's a monk. But those things are really slippery, and not even when you're counting in the seagull poop. They're just really slippery. I have fallen off a jetty before. It's not fun.
The beach we grew up at had a jetty, and we would spend all our time as kids out on that, and I have cut up my shins pretty bad.
Oh, yeah. We tried to take pictures on it. Did not go well. We learned that seagulls are dickheads.
Well, did we learn that, or did we just get confirmation that D&D seagulls are also dicks?
Yeah, but just the whole the wonderful art that has come out of Knot's new hatred for seagulls. I feel like it's not a pre-existing one.
I think it's more of that just goblin. I'm just gonna,
I like that there was a mix of the like I'm just gonna straight up shoot him with my crossbow, but then I'm also gonna try and bait them with some crab bits.
Right.
Even if
So we get Not using her cloak of elvenkind to kind of hunker down and spread some meat along the shore, and then as she is doing so, she gets attacked by a crab, and
Mhm.
then proceeds to kill about 8 seagulls after wrestling the crab quite humorously.
I do love how good Mercer is in just understanding the basics of nature. As one seagull flew in, grabbed it, and left, and then all of the seagulls in the vicinity instantly knew, because that's what they
Mine?
seem to do. They just know, and woof.
Mine?
Mine?
My?
All I can think of is little Mine?
Yeah.
Finding Nemo.
I like that they took some time to like start training their Naminals, but like it wasn't a 100% sort of thing. But we got names for Professor Thaddeus, the owl. Nugget was already named, and then Sprinkle was a new name too, wasn't it?
Yeah, the weasel. Sprinkle.
The weasel.
Yeah.
Like on a donut.
Oh.
And
fair.
Nugget
We
was
found out that
learning.
Professor Thaddeus and Caduceus are hitting it off quite well.
Yes.
Yes, they have a better bond than Bo and her new friend Al. Because Caduceus is just that cool, likable guy. I want to see Caduceus on a surfboard.
Ooh.
Oh, that would be cool. I really loved his whole just
Wow.
attitude towards like, yeah, I'm just open to everything. Yeah.
This is excellent.
Yeah. I have no expectations.
Yeah, I like that Caduceus is like, I haven't really done anything. They're like, have you done this? No, I haven't done anything. Like, nothing at all. But I'm interested in all the things. And it even came up, like, later that he was told that Jester was gonna, like, show him the world a little bit. I'm excited.
We get Caleb completely stripping down and just going into the water.
Everything
Which
but his
I thought-
necklace.
Everything but his necklace. But I thought that was a really, really cool character choice. That he was just like, no, I see this giant, vast ocean, and I'm just going for it. I'm just getting in.
I like that Ford spooked him with Misty Step.
Well, yeah.
He I'm just gonna boop.
And then he was just bobbing there because of the armor.
That's handy. That's so like I love that like normally anyone in D&D in armor would sink. But he's like, look at me float! And like it's basically a life vest.
Yeah.
This would have been useful before.
Got a little too light. So yeah, Jester does some training with Nugget, try and get Nugget to come back and blink on command. And ends up getting at least a whistle or a command word to do so. We weren't given what that command word was.
She had time to think about it. But
Yeah, she has.
hopefully we'll be able to see it.
Sure, it'll be quite a fun one.
Oh yes.
Knowing Lara, and although she can't control where Nugget goes, she can just tell him to blink, and he'll do it. Don't know where he's gonna end up.
I mean, it's
Like
basic
a
puppy
bucket.
101. Yeah.
Yes, a puppy. And
So
then,
where has he awkwardly blinked so far? Once is like on her head, and the other time was like he at one point he blinks into like a bucket and just knocks some
into like a little the
stuff
little
over.
ship cleaning pile of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Is this going to be an ongoing thing with like
definitely.
Nugget just like blinking? Oh, it'd be so sad if like Nugget accidentally blinks on the other side of like a fence or a gate or something, and they're like, no, Nugget, come back, come back, Nugget.
Man, I think puppies are annoying. A blink puppy would just be too much.
I love it.
Oh
my god.
Nothing on
love
shelves
it.
would be safe.
No.
That's
I can't
once
wait
they
till it-
have control of it.
Just wait until it starts trying to chew the bag.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be like unimpressed.
That thing
with
is
that.
going to try and eat their bag of holding. I'm telling you right now. I want a mimic baby. Yeah, that would be interesting. Having a
The little
pet.
chest. Does it start off as a tiny
Little-
chest? It's just
Does
like
it? I
a
was gonna say,
earring
does a mimic
case, or is it like
stay in its fake form the whole time, like one form the whole time, or can it change?
yeah? What's the mimic biology?
Yeah, we need to investigate this a little further.
answers. All right, that's our new
Question.
research. We get a question from FMA. Is Nugget a boy or a girl?
Oh,
I
they
think
did
Matt
say.
Mercer said it was a boy.
I think
Yeah.
he specifically said Nugget was a boy.
They made a
When-
pee joke, and then he's like,
Yes.
"Well,
Yeah.
it is a boy." I'm like, ah.
Yeah, they made because she was like, it doesn't have to pee, it's fine, and Matt
It's
was like, as you say that, Nugget peed on her basically.
I think that was everybody on the beach.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
They
that's
have a
pretty
good
much
time on the
everyone.
beach. And while they're hanging out there, Jester messages her mom. And it's like, hey, I'm here. I'm in the ocean. I'm hanging out with my friends. Are you singing tonight? I would love to come. And gets cut off yet again because that's what Jester does. But gets an answer that, yes, indeed, Ruby is performing that evening. So she convinces everyone that they shall go see her mama. Mama sing at the lavish chateau.
And then, like, even when they were debating it, I'm like, "Nope, go, please go." That's all.
Every
Yeah,
single,
like,
oh my god,
please
I was
just go.
screaming.
Just
Why
Yeah.
is this? Yeah,
Why are we here?
were all like,
Why are we still here?
screaming. I
Go.
think at one point I tweeted our screaming because the three of us in
Yes.
particular were just screaming.
I mean, I
I'll say
love
that.
not. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love Matt's descriptions of worlds and of new cities and all of the flavor and that he gives us of these fantastic places.
But the Sapphire of the Sea.
Wanted to see Ruby,
Yeah.
and it just was delaying
Or
it
Ruby of the
more
Sea.
and more.
Yes.
It's like I want to see the Ruby. Give me the. I don't want to hear about the curtains. I want to see the Ruby.
I mean, I honestly
do.
want both.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want the lore because
yes.
it was really good,
It
but
was wonderful, but
go see Ruby first and then give us the lore.
I
It's like,
really,
I'm very impatient right now.
I gotta say, of all the cities we've seen so far, Nicodranas is my favorite.
it's gorgeous.
I love coastal cities, and I also love that he described it as like the Vegas.
Yes.
Like it's close enough to the Empire that people can come, but it's also alien enough, and people kind of use it as so you get to see a lot of more eclectic. We're not in the world that's just the drab like gray of the Empire, just where everything's like dictated and ordered. I did think it was interesting when he was talking about the Clovis Concord and the fact that in their agreement that they have city.
They do have this.
The Crown Guard.
Zalezo?
Yeah, the Crown Guards are there.
The Crown Guard, and they
There's
they
Crown
have
Guards and Zalezo.
and they have the authority to like
Yep.
arrest on Empire crimes, which is a really interesting thing to have like two law enforcements that. I mean, that would.
Which makes me want that there is that dual rule almost, that the dual laws. I wonder how that works when it comes to things like the religious worship aspect, because you have this giant. Is the Wild Mother one of the ones that they can worship in?
I don't think so. It wasn't
I don't
part of
think
it
it
that
is.
they're not supposed to be worshiping Melora. Like it is.
Right.
She's not one of the approved ones, which is
Right. So I think that's interesting. So there definitely has to be some kind of line where it's like, no, these are the rules that can't transpose over to our little world.
But
if someone is
just
doing
a very
something,
like, messy line.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure if they're like, hey, I'm gonna go next door and blow up the Empire, it'd be like, oh no, guess what? We're not gonna happen, buddy.
But like especially maybe Empire citizens have a little more
protection,
or getting in trouble with City Guard in Nicodranas. Like that's more the purview of the Crown's Guard, maybe for like Empire citizens.
Yeah,
they did say that. Like when they were talking about it, they were saying that like, oh, some big people from the Empire come here, so they get additional sort of support and guarding from the Crown Guard. So is it just that they're kind of almost like rich people political bodyguards, or like do they
I can see it maybe being billed that way, but really it's a little bit of the big brother too. Like we're gonna see what you're doing and make sure you're not bringing back anything contraband.
Hmm.
To a little bit more like, hey, because the Empire seems so structured and so strict in
Mhm.
what information especially they allow. So like, okay, you're going outside the Empire. Who are you consorting with? Who are you talking to?
Mm.
Like
That's
what's going
interesting.
on? So
Yeah.
I can see it maybe being a little bit of that as well. Like,
Yeah, that's true. And
which
Sundu in
it's
chat
so-
asked if it's a puppet state.
I
don't think it's.
know if
No,
I don't
I think
think
it's
so.
run by its own. They just have an
I think
agreement
it-
that some
Yeah.
of the Crown's Guard have some small authority to
Yeah.
enforce Empire laws.
Maybe they have certain extradition laws. Like maybe there's certain
Maybe.
things that they can
Yeah.
take people back over for and judge them for, but they seem to be able to, because obviously the Empire has their approved deities, and people seem to be able to worship different deities here, and things are a little different here, and like a little more lax in some ways, and maybe a little more strict in other ways.
And like we said with the protection aspect, I think it might also be sort of that Roman Empire-esque thing where you're one of our citizens, so we're going to ensure that you get those protections, even where like, so
Yeah.
that saying like, okay, well, even if you do something here, we're here to be
Yeah.
on your side and make sure you get our backing.
Yeah.
And probably for those more important people too. That come in.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, I think sort of like you mentioned, to go both ways. That's a little bit of like protecting our own, but also keeping an eye so there's no espionage or anything. Like, I think a little bit of both. I think you're right about that.
I don't trust the Empire.
Nope.
Oh, not at all. Not as far as I can pick up and throw a whole empire.
That's probably not possible.
Make a
There you
strength
go.
check.
Oh, I see. I see.
Ah!
Yes, but Nicodranus, super cool. I already love it. Everything about it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Greece, the way that he was talking about it.
A little bit.
That's just kind of what my mental picture is, almost like those whitewashed buildings with the blue roofs and on it. Like it's just what I like. I like it. It's so
A little
pretty.
more Mediterranean.
Yeah, very.
It is right on the. It is right on the ocean. It's a little warmer because obviously they talked about that. They talked about like, I think when Ruby asked Jester, "What's the rest of the world like?" She's like, "Colder."
Yeah. So I think he's probably taking like. I think there's a lot of Italian, a lot of Greek.
Yeah, I was thinking a lot of like
a little bit of French Riviera mixed in.
Oh, definitely French, because the assistant to Ruby spoke with a French accent.
So I think he's definitely playing off that.
Yeah,
aspect, which I really like. It's such a fun contrast against the Empire.
I just love coastal cities. I love coastal cities.
Yeah, I'm excited for us to see more of that.
Me too.
Yeah,
but we do get the Zalestro, who are the I think I've said that right.
Zalezo.
The Zalezo, basically the Crown's Guard, the guards of the city. We get our new friends bribing them to get into the city because they go to the wrong gate.
Gotta know which gate to go through, guys. Jeez.
Hey, let's go through the wharf. It's closer, yeah. But
I just like where it's like, oh, you'll have to find some way to get through the gate then.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah, just pull
5 gold.
Some palms.
5 gold.
I like that they have no concept of what their money is valued at, because they do that with that guy. They grease that guy's palm with 5 gold, and then when they get to the entrance of the chateau.
Yeah, they're always giving out a lot more gold than
the lavish chateau. Thank you. Yeah, they grease that guy's palm with 5 gold, and he seems at that point willing to put up with owl claws digging into his arm. He's like, "Oh, yep, okay," and like proceeds to.
This blood is worth it.
Clearly. Yeah.
Well, because I'm trying to remember what like a note, like what higher up people make it per day. Like, I mean,
I don't
5 gold is a
lot.
A regular working person, like a middle class working person, like regular level, is something like a few silver a day. It's not even 1 gold. Like it's not even like a full hard day's work is something like 2 to 5 silver, I think, a day. For a regular labor person, so to hand someone 5 gold, I think you just gave them like 2 weeks salary almost, which is
definitely a nice little.
Which is why people like adventurers.
Yeah, thanks, adventurers. No concept of what your money is worth. Sure.
Also, we got a mention in chat from King Sundude that they like how the guards all get to have some flair to the uniforms.
Yes.
I
That's
like that
awesome.
too, where it's gonna be like everyone kind of has that same idea, but you know, you get to do a little touch here and there, customize it
And
out.
have up to 15 pieces of flair.
I hope we get to see like the most flared out guard on the.
Guys, I'm wearing
There's
the gold
always the-
shirt. It just cropped and sleeveless.
There's
and
always that one guy that.
there's some
always that
fishing net.
one person.
Someone's gonna be wearing like a beanie that whirs or like something like that spins or like just like covered in fancy enamel pins. One of them's gonna be
I was
like
just gonna say
a
that.
con nerd like us, and it's
Gonna
just
be
gonna
like-
be
Like me, covered in the pins, just everywhere.
out.
Like Matt says. in chat.
TGI guardhouse. Very
Matt in
nice.
chat says like the guy on the Rockport Express had the Technicolor bow tie and Taz.
Yes.
They had some
That
flair.
was his flair. So good.
We like the flair. It's pretty.
Yeah. I liked the description of the opal archways.
Mhm.
Yes. So as they travel into town from the wharf, they start passing the opal archways, which mark where the old city boundaries actually were, and that's now kind of the center for the elite. I think they said there were 13?
11.
11, okay.
11 throughout the district.
So I like that. Again, reminding me of kind of Greece and with like the Plaka, and here's the old part of the city, and I just love it so much, guys.
I'm excited to see more of the
Sorry
city.
for
I
saying-
am.
Well, we love this city, but what else do we love?
Jess,
proceed.
you all right?
Please proceed. I'm just excited.
Yeah, I do. She's excited.
Alright, Before we get to the Leva Chateau, we pass the Mother's Lighthouse.
Oh, I forgot about that. part.
Oh,
I'll hold
Stop
my.
wait.
jumping ahead, guys.
I'm excited. Okay.
Just get to the Ruby already. This was
I
us
love her
the
so
whole night.
much.
So we do pass the Mother's Lighthouse, which we find out is a lighthouse to Melora, the Wild Mother, and it's just beautiful. It's this big half bust, and she's kind of out there hanging on the rocks, and as the light whirls around, it passes through her eyes, which is really, really cool.
That's super cool.
So yeah, they do make their way to the Lava Chateau, and they meet up with Tyrrell, who was out front, our new buddy, the front hand of the inn, and he's the one they give the 5 gold to help take care of Professor Thaddeus and their cart. And ow, 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 ow. Those claws are sharp, my friends.
Yes,
Worth
they
it for
are.
5 gold.
I mean, give me $100. I'd let a bird stick its claws in my arm.
The light comes out of her eyes, King Sundu. Out of her eyes.
Sundu.
And her eyes are up here. King Kong.
The boobs are for sleeping. We'll discuss that later. But yes. So they make their way to the Lava Chateau, aka the home of Jester's mom. Guys, we get to meet Jester's
We finally
mom.
get to meet her.
Finally.
So they go in. The majority of them go and grab a table by the stairs, because as Jester knows, that's how her mom makes her entrance. And her mom has not yet started the performance, so Jester goes running upstairs to the 3rd floor and knocks on the door, and we get to meet Marion Lavore, who we
Jess.
do
Sorry.
Jess,
I was
you
gonna
have
go. So
conniptions.
for
What are you doing?
for the sake of chat, I'm just gonna go through everyone's reaction at this point in time. Jess, what was your reaction?
I can't do it because I'll break the hang on.
Oh,
For
see.
those who are not currently watching us,
There were
on Twitch,
subtitles for that. Oh,
as
yeah.
part of the podcast and do not have the visual element. Jess, how did you react?
I squealed and screamed because one of the first descriptions we get was that she had red skin, and I think a lot of us were wondering, like Ruby of the Sea, a lot of people were like, oh, does that mean she has red skin, or does maybe she just has red hair? Is Jester's mom also going to be tiefling? Is she going to be human? Like, what? And like immediately we got that, and it was just so happy, so excited. Oh, and we got that, and like as Jester went up, she introduced herself. She's like, "Tell Ruby that her little sapphire is here," and I was like, "Ruby and her little sapphire."
Dustin will do the screaming for you, apparently.
That is the sound I made when they finally got to.
I just keyboard mashed.
Yeah. Marion equals Satine from Moulin Rouge. That's how I first. That's what
you
I
guys
was
were-
imagining before.
Yeah.
There was Satine, there was Inara, there was
Mhm.
oh gosh, Jessica Rabbit, who I forget, there was all kinds of
There was-
mentions on many, many beautiful women.
Yeah. Yep. And
Yes, she's a
go ahead.
tiefling.
I'm so excited. I like that.
The best. She's just so sweet.
So yeah,
So
so
excited.
Jester comes in and kind of
Pushes
meets
her
with-
way in.
Yeah, she pushes her way in past Nadine, who is one of the servants who is helping Marion. And Marion is described as where is it? She's as a tiefling. She has red skin, white gold eyes, and dark hair. They're so pretty, so pretty. Did
Oh my god.
pupilless? I missed that part.
He didn't. He did say sort of like she had a gold tint to her eyes or something like that. So I
They were
wasn't
white
sure if
with
he
a gold
was.
tint. So I kind of
Yeah.
picture that they're pupilless, but who knows? Like kind of like
Yeah.
Storm in X-Men.
Yeah, that's
Her
exactly.
eyes
I
are
was
gold.
wondering, are they like almost like a solid gold with white flecks, or white with gold flecks, or are they white with gold irises?
I
It's
was
not
like, white with like a
clear,
gold glow.
but
Yeah,
she's
around
maybe.
it.
freaking gorgeous, is what
She's-
is clear.
Stunning. So we get Jester helping her mom get dressed after she comes in, kind of reveals herself as Jester, because she was in her disguise self form as human Jester, or
And I love
Jess.
her
I
mom's,
guess
like-
we were calling Fiona Fancy Pants.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love how her mom's always like just so intrigued, like and excited about the
Yeah.
magic, and like, is this what your friend taught you? And like,
She's so supportive. I swear, like there's several times where I was like, I'm gonna go cry now. Excuse me. Like, when
Yeah.
she's like, don't worry, mom, it's me. And she puts her hands on her horns, but she's like, but please, can I see my little girl? So she has to drop the disguise. And Matt describes how she immediately he says how it almost like seeing Jester breathes life into Ruby. Like. And she just kisses her and brushes her hair. Like it's just
Her baby's been gone and now her baby's back.
This is what I love about this so much, because we learned like way in the beginning of this season that Jester's mom was a lady of the night, and you're like, oh, but she was, and see, like it's like all that negative stuff that happens in like the world with people, a single mom in that kind of a position raising her kid, but like to get to see this is just wonderful. Just this wonderful supportive mom who's like, I mean, she holds sway too. I mean, we get to see a little bit of, I mean, everybody loves the Ruby of the Sea,
Oh yeah.
and to see her just adore her daughter is just the best thing ever.
I know, it's so
Beautiful.
it's so amazing. And I think I don't know, I don't want to read any negative stuff. I heard there was some negative stuff, but I'm like, I don't
No,
not gonna read any of that because it doesn't matter to me. Her love for her daughter is so evident. It is so there. Just as Jester's helping Ruby get ready, and she's just, Matt describes how she's listening to every word. She's
Looking
like,
at
hey,
her through the mirror and never taking her eyes off of her, even though she's facing away from her. She was putting her makeup and listen,
okay.
Jester's going off and all about her adventures, and Ruby's just looking at her like, my baby's home. It's so pretty and so cute, and I love it all. So
she's
yeah,
just
so
ugh. She's just of course I want to meet your friends, and
So we get that nice little touching moment before Jester runs back downstairs to go watch the show. And she comments later on that this is one of the first times she's actually seen it from this level. Because normally she watches from upstairs. And oh my god, that music cue that Matt pulled off.
Matt did
He's
such a
done
good job.
So good with those.
Oh god.
That was incredible.
his description of how, like, as she came down, the lights sort of flickered, sort of theater style, but then, like, dimmed, and then as she was singing, and he did an excellent job with, like you said, the music cue, and then the selection of the song was so lovely, and as he's describing her, like, going through everything, and the lights almost go along with her emotion as she performs. Ah, I'm in love.
I like that the lights flickering was her thaumaturgy, though.
Yes.
Like, that I thought was a really cool touch. It didn't even come into my mind until Jester said it, and I was like, oh my god, it makes sense!
Always use your abilities in stage shows.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah?
My
Especially-
my bard would pick all his spells specifically for what they do in a stage show rather than anything useful for my party.
Mhm.
Backing up real quick, I like when they were talking about Laura had to burn a higher level spell to re-disguise herself.
Mhm.
And the comment was, we're seeing a show, what could happen? As a callback to the last time they saw a show when, a frogman attacked them.
Yep.
So that was cool. But yes, they enjoy the show, and she gets some tips, but she doesn't take them. She
Yeah,
has an
she's
assistant come and take them. She just focuses on her performance. And we get a glimpse of this creepy dude who's like
Oh,
trying
yes,
to
this
touch
guy.
her, and I'm like, nope, nope,
Oh yeah.
nope. Warning bells went off
Yeah.
immediately.
So many red flags.
Do not like.
Nope, nope, nope.
And
Nope.
then she goes back up to her room on the 3rd floor after the show is done, and they chat for a little bit more, talking about, oh, can you sing? Can you do that? Oh, what about this? Oh, that's her thaumaturgy. We get all that little discussion between them. And then Jester goes upstairs real quick to see if her mom would have time to talk with her later after she sees whichever patient she was seeing that evening. And it turns out her mom turns them away
Oh, that's
so that
so
she could
good.
talk to Jester and her friends.
Everything about Marion is the best.
I love her so, so much. There cannot be any question. Okay, so I think it's very common in D&D to have tragic parents and backstories. And while Jester's story is not the norm, she still grew up in a very special, very loving way. Like, Marion's love for her, so palpable. She just fawns all over her, and it warms my heart. Ugh.
And it becomes much more clear that her actions were for protection's sake, as opposed to any sort of purposeful neglect or purposeful abuse, I think. It's like, no, this was to keep her baby girl safe. So yeah, guys, it was just awesome. So she goes running downstairs. She's like, guys, my mom wants to talk to us! And then goes running back upstairs. And everyone
Yeah.
comes up.
Just
And-
the sweet, innocent joy that Jester has.
Yeah.
But it's just-
So much joy.
Like,
And we get-
how... Go ahead.
Go ahead, no, I was just
I
gonna
was just gonna say,
continue.
just how talking about how Ruby dotes on Jester so much, the like absolute, like, Jester just looks up to her mom and just thinks she's the fucking most amazing thing in the whole world. The way that she's just like, my mama is the best. She's the most famous, most coolest, most beautiful, best singer. No one can beat her. Like, just
Can I
Sorry.
also just point out just the little things that Matt does
yes.
when he's
was
RPing
getting-
his Marion,
yes.
and like his little vest and how he's always like he like holds it close, like
Yeah.
just the little things
'Cause he
he
just-
changes his
He was
body.
describing her as and when they go back up, he was describing her as wearing just her dressing gown. Like, she got out of the fancy purple dress that she wore for the performance and had her hair like taken down and was wearing a dressing robe like you would see in those old movies with the starlets, and they're just kind of slinking around in the robes in their dressing room. And he's holding his vest shut like a woman would in those
Yeah.
scenes. And I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
He just gets so into some of his characters, and it's just
He
those
does.
little
It's
things that
great.
just make you feel more immersed into it.
Yes, and even as he was describing her getting ready and like Jester's like doing the dress and she's getting, he was literally powdering his face and sort of
Mhm.
like looking at her in like a reflective mirror type situation. I was like, Matt is so good!
Mhm.
We are so lucky to have Matt!
It's like you roleplay during this game. Oh my god! So
Wait,
good.
there's roleplay in Dungeons and Dragons? I'm out.
What? I'm done. I'm out. So yeah, we get then Jester introducing the rest of the Mighty Nine to her mom.
Mm.
And I thought the descriptions were quite adorable, what she chose to highlight about each of them. Like, this is Ford, he's a half-orc, he's growing his tusks back. And just like, oh baby! And he kind of got a little flustered by Ruby because she's so gorgeous, and
Oh, well, she definitely,
she flirted
was,
with him a little bit.
that was so good.
With the
Like, he's
finger
like,
thing.
Oh, yeah, it's like,
He's like, oh no! And then we go over to Bo, who disaster lesbians all over it, and like she's really strong and she can punch really good. And she kisses Ruby's hand as well and tries to do the finger thing back. Caleb, he's stinky, but now he likes the water. And Caduceus doesn't know anything about sex. And that's when we get the comment about, oh, so you don't have any vices, so Jester's gonna fix that or something. I was like, whoa, mama.
That's what it was. But I mean, not even
Whoa,
like
mama.
just like vices in general, right?
yeah.
Like just
But it was still a fun little comment. And then you get not like dropping it and go, okay, oh hi.
and they're like even being nice, like being good about that and like being very like
baby,
even
her baby bought friends home.
yeah.
Her baby has friends and brought friends home for the first time and asked for a sleepover, guys.
Yeah. Exactly like you said, this would be the first time ever. And I mean, her mom even inquired a bit about the Traveler.
Yeah. When Dresser goes on about all the spells she's learned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she's like, sort of
able to heal and
yeah. And she's sort of like curious but supportive, so it does sort of seem like maybe it came across as like a imaginary friend type situation.
Well, yeah, because she did
but
mention like this is your friend that gives you these powers, and I'm like, okay, well, obviously she kind of knows about the Traveler, and this is all still like a new thing that she's trying to wrap her head around. Yeah.
Yeah, and it also seems to indicate that the Jester having all these powers is new. Like she would have had whatever inherent tiefling ability, like tiefling, racial feats she has. But the full cleric things are new,
and she's still super supportive about it.
Very, very.
She's just the best mama ever. And I don't want to hear anyone say anything bad about Marion Lavore because I will not hear it. I will not hear it. I love her. Ah.
In this podcast, we.
Yes.
I don't know the right words. I'm trying.
I don't either, but in this podcast, we love and support Marion Lavore.
Yes.
Yes.
And her precious daughter Jester, her little Sapphire.
Tieflings, retweet if you agree.
Yes.
We kind of get like a little rundown of like their history and what they've been up to, right?
Yeah, so then we get a little rundown of everything they've done. Jester goes and gets the aerator for the wine, which is the cantrip, apparently.
Yeah.
And then Jester inquires about how things are going with Lord Sharp.
Yeah.
Like, oh, and we find out he's still angry and that Marion's tried to do some things that she can to try and throw out the charges, but nothing's really happened. But he can't really do anything, and she can't, and so they're a little bit of a bypass. And then Not's like, "Can we kill him?
Kill him." That's sort of like a stalemate, but yeah,
shouldn't do that. So then they bring up the letter and start asking Marion about, oh, well, do you know this person? And do you know that person? And hey, do you happen to know any of these names? And she says no, but that she'll ask around for them. And I think she suggests at that time, no, not yet. So then they start talking about, oh gosh, I lost my train of thought.
Is that at the point at which she tells them about the suitor that's bothering her?
Yes, that's when they start talking about Mr. Diomin, Algar, who's the dickhead we saw downstairs who touched her and was like, "Oh, you're mine." And was like,
That's
"Oh,
when-
this is Moulin Rouge right now."
And I was
She is
screaming.
mine.
I was screaming, plot hook, plot hook.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. Adventure hook, adventure hook.
cast that thing out there.
That he has become much more possessive of her as of late, to the point where he's threatening away other clients.
Boo.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
And she has reminded him expressly about the details and their agreement, and he's not having it, but
Nope.
that he's connected to apparently some people in the Clovis Conclave, or Clovis. What is that word? It wasn't Conclave, because that was the other one. The Clovis Concord.
Yes, like grapes, Concord.
Yes. Again, they thought, hey, maybe we could kill him. She's like, you know what? Shouldn't do that again. What's with you and all the killing?
It's fun when you're like, yeah, no, you can't just go into a city and kill people.
Yeah, no. And she says, don't do it. If they mentioned maybe we can find someone else to do it, and that this would be the place to do it, but to find some of those people looking to hire. But it's like, no, how about we don't? How about we don't? But they start trying to find out a little bit more about him, so she suggests maybe the wharf master or Gladys, the lightkeeper in the lighthouse, for information.
Yes.
Gladys, who we will get to. But she does state that Algar wanted to bring her to meet his great servant beneath the city.
Yes.
Ooh,
that was
and
the
then-
first mention we heard of that.
Oh.
Another plot hook!
More
So when that went off,
red flags.
I heard my tinfoil calling from the kitchen, and it was just like,
Oh.
put me on, put me on.
Did you start to put up pins on your board? Did you start to string pins?
Yes.
Full conspiracy board.
Aliens.
Oh, I have a whole nother one now. I tossed Dunamis aside. Fuck Dunamis. That's yesterday's news.
What is this
Dunamis can wait.
servant? What is this servant?
Oops.
So
Which
that's-
I'd like to get to later when we learn about a little bit of descriptions about some other things in the city.
Right. And even the party's like, oh no, this is a big red flag. We don't like this. Like, yep, nope, we're following this path.
Nothing good is
but-
under anything.
No. But Marion also says that she can't really do anything about this either because he hasn't done anything illegal or disastrous yet.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think Jester is going to be like, hey, I'm going to pretend I'm my mom and get him to lead us down there?
That's not a bad idea.
Ooh,
That's
he knows her
kinda
mom's
my thought.
mannerisms.
So wait a second then.
Exactly.
That
Like,
brings up
okay,
a
with you.
what brings so she could like physically embody her, but then like could she do the mannerism? You're right. Like I don't think she could.
Well, she lived with her for how many years? She would be the one to do it.
But she's so
Yeah?
Jester.
Yeah,
I know
there's
she's so Jester.
no other way to describe it other than she's.
That's
so
a new
Jester.
Disney show coming. in
She's
the
so
future.
Jester.
She's so Jester.
People in chat, FMA is saying also is the servant under the city Ford's patron, and Sunday's pointing out Kraken cult, Aboleth, one of
There's
the
a lot of things that could be under there. Like
Yeah.
the tentacle that Jester saw.
Mhm.
Was she lying? Was she
I don't
serious?
think she was lying. I think that Nicodranus has some secrets.
Yeah,
Of course it has secrets.
but her being able to, the fact that she lured out the previous jerk and got in trouble, posing as her mother, means that she did have some sort of magic beforehand, but her mother seems surprised by all her magic now.
Right.
So I wonder how much of it she already had. Because I was wondering if she sort of like started her ways of being cleric upon leaving home, but she must have had something
I think
already.
she had it a little bit before,
Yeah.
and then that was probably the.
My
impetus
assumption
to
is
get
kind of
her
you always
with-
have like the cantrips leading into
she had a few free cantrip slots. It's just
so we get
no
the
level
party.
ones yet.
We get the party declaring, we're gonna help you with this, and Jester, we are going to take care of you, Mama, which is just so precious, so precious. Clay tries to get a little bit more information on what they need to do to get into the lighthouse. Marianne doesn't really know that much about Gladys, other that she's older, and we know how great they are with old people.
Mm-hmm. Great history.
Well, that she's kind of prickly, I think is how she's described.
Yeah.
Because
and then we get the other big reveal of the episode,
guys. I don't care about your ears, everyone.
Guys,
I'm like silently freaking out because I'm trying to mind your ears, guys, but I want to screech.
So how it goes down is Marion makes a comment about how Ford is such a gentleman, and then we get Bo being Bo, be like, oh, he is, but he's not the gentleman. And Marianne's like, what you talking about? Who's this gentleman guy? So they start describing this very dashing, handsome blue guy who sweats a lot. And she's like, oh, I know a guy like that. He's been through here before. And Jester's like, what? She's like, yeah, I told you about him. And bam!
I'm like that guy in that
GIF. Just, oh my god, I love that. If you go back and watch, like, going back and watching that scene, Travis is the first one freaking out.
Yeah.
He is the first one freaking out. Like, he's like, the second she's like, yes, I know him. He was very charming. Like, just the way she sort of, like, says it, like, he's like, ah, which causes, like, Marisha sitting next to him to start freaking out, and then, like, Laura's too busy focused in on her, like, quote-unquote mom, Matt.
And trying to stay in character with it.
Yeah.
And then you get Taliesin, who's just sitting there like, oh, cool, your mom knows the gentleman.
And so, photo guy in chat is like, this is why D&D is awesome. Small little comments can 100% change the game.
It was so amazing. That's why you got a little bit of sweat that's always right here.
Oh my god, not. Thank you. Thank you,
yeah, guys, it comes out that the gentleman is quite possibly, and we'll get into this debate because we're having some contention between us.
There's a bit of contention, everyone.
The gentleman is Jester's daddy.
And
his
ladies
name
and...
is Babanon Dossel. Bobanon?
Baba Hooey.
Bob? Your dad's name's Bob.
Blah blah blah. Blah blah
Lebanon.
blah blah.
Blah 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 blah.
Bebanon Dossel. And Jester's like, I just thought it was cool that he was blue. I never asked his real name.
And someone points out that she has some sort of like icy waterish spells kind of inherently.
Her hellish
or
rebuke
like
is cold damage.
Yeah, cold.
Half Genasi, half Tiefling.
Yes. I like that the whole beginning of the campaign, it was like, things can be two things. Ford can be half orc and half something else. And now we're like, oh, fuck, it was Jester. God damn it. I knew it was here. I knew we were going to broach this topic of not all
color wheels don't follow genetics, Abernathy.
It's not the way it works. So, here's the fight we were having.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to September 9th, 2018, critical reroll bout of the century. In one corner, we have Jess_JG, who says the gentleman is a trash fire. In the other,
disputing that.
Garbage.
That's
Do not want.
dispute.
who's irredeemable as a father.
Absolutely.
In the other corner, we have Kate at Sea Monster, who believes, or at least wants, or at least is thirsty for, a gentleman redemption story. Look, I'm the announcer, I can announce things however I want. Now, fight!
No. I like that Jester points out, like when they're like, this is exciting, like maybe you know your dad, maybe your dad is alive. And she's like, yeah, I guess, but I kind of was hoping he was out there pining for my mom, right? And while I'm not, okay, I'm going to say I'm not the biggest shipper. I'm not the biggest romantic person. Like, I don't need that. I would rather her dad was dead than be the gentleman, because she deserves better. Like, Jester is the sweetest. And I mean, I'm happy, even if her dad is dead, if her dad is someone as crappy as the gentleman, fine, whatever, because she has the most amazing mom. But the gentleman is not redeemable. I do not want him in her life. I do not want. Does not deserve our precious little blue sapphire, okay? Does not deserve her.
You done?
Yes.
Okay. So all I'm saying is that I like the potential that A, she has two parents who are alive, which automatically makes it so much different than almost every other D&D character out there. Right? And that there is this character who, yes, he's some skeezy guy. We don't know what happened. We don't know what happened between the time Bob left Marion. And he could have gone out. He could have hit his head. He could have been attacked. Something could have happened that completely changed his life, and he couldn't go back to them for whatever reason. So now did he know about Jester before all of this happened? We don't know. Maybe he thought he was protecting Marion in his choice of going out in this way. We don't know. Also, proven he has a thing for tieflings because of Ophelia Mordoon.
That part I agree with.
Well, if
That
the
part is
announcer,
very, very true.
if the announcer has an opinion, once a player, always a player. I think he was just a player.
Yep. I think
I live on an island. Come on. I gotta go deal with some stuff. I'll totally be back.
Yeah, I'm a super special magical ocean person. I must go away. It is completely out of my control, darling. It's not all that I was just messing with you and now I'm lying to you in some grandiose, fantastic way to give you this idea that, oh, don't worry, darling, I will be back and I will save you from this life where you're already succeeding because you're such an amazing person. Like, fuck you, no. She is a... God damn it. Sorry.
I just want Jester to have happy parents. Although I'm not opposed, I said this before, I'm not opposed to her getting a new mom instead with Ophelia. Instead of her.
Yes.
Like, we can just team up and take out the gentleman, and then she can get
Yes.
Ophelia to be her new mom, so that she can have two moms. That's cool with me, guys.
Yes. Ophelia, I'm okay with them all working together to murder the gentleman so Ophelia can take over his underground business, and then Jester gets two mothers because Ophelia falls in love with Ruby, and then they are the most beautiful, wonderful, amazing, charismatic family of tieflings ever.
Only time will tell for the real answers.
So, yeah, whether or not you believe he should be and is deserving of being Jester's father, biologically, do you think the gentleman is her father biologically?
I'm hoping it's a misunderstanding.
I
don't feel strongly convinced for or against. I think even at the end there, Ruby was saying, she's like, maybe I just got a bit excited. Maybe because I mean, she's seeing her beautiful, wonderful daughter and her adventures and hearing about it and wanting her to be good and happy. And like the thought of hearing like someone that slightly matches the description, like they don't have friggin' smartphones where they can snap a photo of him and like show.
Here, can you do a DNA test?
Everybody, honey, no.
No. I like that they did both draw the picture. Like I thought
Yeah.
that was fun.
You know,
Yeah,
there are
I-
probably a bunch of charming moist people out there.
Yeah.
As
We got
Abernathy
sure.
says.
us right
I
here.
I think charming and moist is too broad a descriptor, as Abernathy says.
Exactly. I think it's too general, and I don't even think Marion said moist was necessarily a descriptor so much as blue and
Blue
related
lived on an
to
island.
water. Yeah, going back to
Charming.
the ocean.
Blue, charming, lots of rings.
Oh, Lemon Pez
were-
brings up a point that I didn't even think about.
All they had to do was cast
Cast
disguise
disguise
self.
self.
How long does disguise self last though? Because if they had an extended
It's an hour.
romance,
I know, but
Sorry,
If they had
babe, I can only
extended
hang out with you for
romance-
an hour right now.
yeah. So I can only hang out with you for an hour at a time.
No, I meant,
that's
like-
cool.
Call
That's
him
kind
but
of
sweaty.
like
She did
no,
call
like
him
Jester
sweaty.
could have cast disguise
she?
self to look like the gentleman, and like this is who he looks like.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
that's true.
Could have.
That's true. Also, like Ford could have done it. Like, there's multiple people in that group who could
They
have.
might
Like-
think of doing that still in the future.
Maybe.
That's true.
I mean,
think
we
they
have
were all
spent a lot of
caught
time.
up. They were all caught up in that moment.
Yeah,
just
it was
like all of
it
us.
was a huge moment to get caught up in.
But it was
So, yeah.
it was an amazing moment. Just seeing them all freaking out and like conspiracy theorying themselves
Yeah.
and all just like
Even just at one point,
being-
Laura was like, "What if the gentleman is my dad?" Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
and then
So,
Matt's
guys,
comment really quick, just about like there's a thing that I didn't want to like leak out, but you guys asked the right questions or whatever, and later
Oh,
in
yeah.
campaign like leak sort of thing.
Yeah, that was
Mhm.
awesome. So, okay, are we okay to move on from this?
We have
everything
to.
said
It's
about
already-
the we have to. Guys,
Go
we
go
could've
go
just
go
had the
go go
entire
go go
episode
go
on this,
go.
but
I
yes,
don't
we need to-
care. Go 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 go.
So they have their little talk afterwards, and like, okay, well, we're gonna figure everything out, and then tomorrow we're gonna do all these things. So they wake up the next morning, and they decided to split into two different parties. Bo and Ford go off to the wharf master, while the rest of them go to the lighthouse to try and get information. So Bo and Ford are first. They head out to the wharf master and start asking questions pertaining first to Ford's old crew.
Mhm.
They want to see if Vandrin's crew has been around. They're like, no, they drowned, dude.
Like, you should
Basically
know
what
that,
happened,
man.
right?
Everybody
Oh,
drowned.
God.
Everybody's dead.
Everybody drowned. They're dead. It's like, okay, cool. So then they start asking about Algar, and they find out that the sluice weave, not the sluice weave, is Algar's place of work. They find out that Desma, I think was how they said it. Desma was the proprietor of the Meandering Treasures, which is a place they can go to hawk some wares. They also ask some questions about Marius Lebout.
The name
And
that, like, I love that they keep trying to pronounce it, and Matt just sits there and, like, he knows how it's pronounced, but I don't think
yeah.
he's ever, like, said it. He just sits there and watches them. Le pois, le bleu, le bleu. Blah. It's just
Yeah,
great.
so we find out that Marius is, quote, a dubious prick and can often be found drinking at the dives in the area, and that they should stop asking so many damn questions if they want to keep going on with their happy little times in the city.
Mm-hmm.
So we get a couple bites on what's going on next in that term. Then the rest of the crew head towards the Mother's Lighthouse, and we meet Gladys, who is a burly Estelle Getty-like type.
I love. I was really fond of this character.
I was
Mhm.
too. She is a prickly little old lady.
Matt's
Yes.
old lady voice is
I
also
adore her.
really good.
And her talking about how like freaking tough she is, like 'cause
Yes.
she still does so much physical activity, and they're like, "Yeah, you could probably like beat me up." She's like, "Yeah, I'm confident I could."
Yeah. Caleb, you could break me like a stick. Yeah, I could.
Yep.
But Caduceus is the one who actually gets them in as another follower of Melora. And they talk about how the lighthouse is actually part of a gift of the lawbearer when Melora and where the Wild Mother and the lawbearer were not quite in this contention as they are. So that they formed the rocks or something to that
Yeah,
degree that
that
the
was
White House
fun.
is made out of. That's super cool.
I like the pre-calamity stuff. Like I like all that.
Yes.
When the gods were
That was-
actually like in
that
the
was-
world.
Yeah. Jester wants to know if she can sleep in the boob. No. But really, isn't that the dream? Isn't that the dream?
It's everybody's dream.
Yeah.
I guess. Well,
Not everybody's,
not
but
everybody's, but it's a lot of people. It's a
maybe
good
everybody
thing.
right here, right now. Who
It's a
knows?
good thing, yeah.
Just saying. We find out that Gladys has a nice little spyglass that she keeps an eye on things down in the city.
Just a people watcher.
Yeah, she just chills. She just watches out. It's
Yeah.
cool.
So like when they ask her about people, she says that she's seen them but never met them. They ask about Algar, right?
Yes.
Specifically.
She doesn't talk to people because she doesn't like them. But they speak. Caduceus asks about a favor, and he asks about Algar, and they too find out that he works at the sluice weave, and that there are 2 submerged gates in the harbor, as the harbor has protectors. We also get a nice little quote about the metagaming seagull at that point. When they are told only that it's called the sluice instead of the sluice weave, and then one of the players decides to supply the rest of the words. I'm like, no, you don't know that. Cool. Metagaming seagull.
Yeah. And I like they ask about if she knows about sort of the stuff going on under the city, and she's like, well, I can't see under this city.
But she makes it there's always something under cities, or like
Yes.
there's stuff under there, but I can't see it.
Yes.
So yeah, guys, we got more hints on more stuff with this creeper.
Yes.
Yes.
This
And
Algar.
also
We don't.
protectors of the city, which are probably totally Krakens or Aboleths. Or something.
I'm totally thinking along those lines.
Or Kates. There's Kates under the city.
From our local
It's me,
resident
guys.
sea monster.
Spoiler alert from the writers of the show. It's me.
There's a Kate down there.
Just me,
Hanging
just
out.
chilling out.
Just chilling.
It's all
Relaxing.
good. Don't worry, we're fine. So Caduceus gives her some dead people tea as thank you.
And she thinks it's a great gift. And I also love the connection between her and Knot. Like, Knot's like,
Yeah,
no,
I'm
kind of
ugly.
people don't like me, I'm ugly. And she's like, and I feel like she was indicating that she herself was kind of not as she appeared, like, based on what she was saying. And that made me so curious, and I hope we get to see more of her.
Yes.
Well,
'Cause
they're
I really
in the
liked her
lighthouse. How do you not want to see more of that character?
Right.
Yeah.
We get Jester trying to invoke duplicity and stay hidden in the lighthouse to go sleep in a boob. Doesn't help. Doesn't happen. She finds her. Then they all head out to the open quay.
And we get to see the other 2 getting up to nonsense.
Yeah. So as they're walking back, we find our 2 friends, Ford and Bo, who have come across this giant tower. It's a green spire and they grab a passing townsperson, like, what the heck is this? Oh, well, that's the Tides Peak. It's the tower of a mage called Yusa Irenas, who owns the district. And of course, Bo's first inkling is to climb it.
Well, okay, because there's no doors or windows or anything at ground level. The first thing is something like 25 feet up. And so how are they going to get up there? They don't have magic. What do they have? They have a monk.
So we do have that question came in on our sheet, which we do every week, guys. We post it up usually the day after the episode for you guys to write in and give us some suggestions, ask questions in a spoiler-friendly manner. So feel free to use that in the future. This question is, do you think Bo's going to return to Tidespeak and use Step of the Wind in a, like, I can't say that word, WUCHSIA film style? I'm guessing it's kind of like the Chinese fighting action films.
Yeah.
Yeah. But can you use Step of the Wind
I was gonna say,
sideways up, or is it jumping? It's jumping.
If you're at level, you can walk. You can run up vertical things.
But how high? Because it's 25 feet up. That's pretty high.
I don't think it mentions how high. You can run across walls.
She's used it to climb trees before, but we're talking like not 25 feet high trees.
I don't think she can use it that way.
And they said the entire tower was about 400 feet from the look of it where they were standing. But interestingly, as they walked away, guys, it looked like it got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller because magic.
I love magic and I love wizard towers.
Magic.
Cause magic.
Every good wizard should have a tower.
I
Yeah.
like the comment about does Caleb have tower envy?
Well, it's interesting that of all the people, Ford and Bo were very, very interested in this tower, and that Caleb was like scolding them like pretty viciously, like, why are you guys like so interested in this right now type thing? And it's like, but how are you not interested in this right now?
I think that was really good in character for Caleb though, because
Yeah.
he wants no attention whatsoever, especially from a magic sort of thing. You know, because he's like literally in hiding from strong magical people. I really enjoyed.
So just looked it up real quick. Step of the Wind, your jump distance is doubled for the turn.
Oh, is that all it is?
Well, when you get
can
to
disengage your dash,
yeah, but I think it's not till like level 7 when you can actually use the climb on, or maybe it's 6.
Well, I definitely think she has
There's
used
an ability that's aside from Step of the Wind that lets you.
Right. Yeah, the question was specifically Step of the Wind.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the only reason I bought that up. But
Okay.
I don't know. I think there is something else.
There is. I play a monk and I can't remember it.
I was gonna say, Photo Guy in chat said something about how as long as you have enough key to spend, so maybe there is something where she could just keep spending her key points to kind of continue running upwards. Maybe there's something to benefit her, but like maybe it's not 100, not foolproof, like not perfect, but sort of.
It's interesting, Matt, but I don't think that would work because like how many people at one point in time in the city are looking at that tower, and if it doesn't change shape for anyone walking up to it.
I think it's just like a visual thing. So anyway, yes, we have this really cool tower. They try to parkour up, doesn't happen. They all walk away. And they find out about a tavern called the Withered Bird. But they also find out about a little tavern called the Wayfarer's Cove, which they're like, ding ding, we've heard of that before.
Yeah.
In our letter, that's where they're supposed to go. It's where Marius is supposed to be, or to bring the orb. So they start heading that way. It takes a half hour. Along the way, Caleb and Bo have a little sniping fest, and a lot of shade is thrown. And
I think the puppy solves the day.
Not tries to fix him with the puppy. Just say,
puppy,
let's be friends again.
Yes, puppy has already. People are like, what a waste of time. What a waste of money getting pets. No, puppy has already proved useful. Puppy solves arguments by being adorable.
Also, puppy is the only answer to that question. Like, I'm gonna spend money on a puppy. I mean,
puppy.
How's that a waste of time? It's a puppy.
Yeah. Puppy.
So we enter the Wayfarer's Cove and we get a good look at the people inside. We have the bartender who is a half-elf, but is a chubby half-elf.
Yes! How exciting is that? I love Matt's description.
Worked very hard to break the norm.
Yeah.
Like, I can get behind this half-elf.
Yeah. So can I. Like, I'm very much for any of these out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get a salt... Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm done with this skinny elf shit. I'm gonna fucking like fill out. Like I love it. I love.
Well, my trickster cleric that I made like 3 years ago, is like just a big, jolly, rotund tiefling. Like. Yep.
Excellent.
We get a salty kind of sailor-looking dude, and we also get a turtle.
The description of this turtle, I mean, I know this is the turtle that we helped create through the fireside chat.
Yes.
But, like, when he's describing the shell and then the pipes, like, coming out of the shell and the ivory, and, like, I'm like, what is this? What is this? Is this some sort of shell instrument?
It has to be!
I love it! I love it! I love that whole idea! I love that whole concept! Also, I just love turtles.
Because we know it's a turtle bard!
I know!
A turtle bard! So pipes coming out of the shell is gonna be like shell pipes, like bagpipes, but like as a shell.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, it's something, and it's gonna be so good, and I'm so excited.
Bagpipes. All bards should have bagpipes, and I love it.
Oh my gosh!
And he has an eye patch.
Yes.
An eye patch, guys.
We feel
likes
strongly
the
about
eye
these
patch.
things.
Cannot wait for the Bayou accent. It's gonna be glorious.
Yeah, I wonder if he's been practicing that one up.
Yeah.
I don't think we've heard that accent from him before. I don't think.
No, I don't think we have, because he said in the fireside chat, like, "Oh, well, this is gonna be different." So we spent a little time just gazing at the turtle, which everyone's super excited for. Oh, we also have tattoos in the shape
Yeah.
of
Yes. That was super cool too.
And then we get a look at two other people in the bar.
Oh, Dewey,
One
Kate.
is the Dewey. We get a woman who is described as being in her 40s with dark brown skin, curling hair dark curling hair that fades to gray at the tips, and she's wearing a long brown leather coat. And she is sitting there with her shipmate, who is younger, ruddy, and about in his 20s. They're both humans. Now, my friends, my loves, we have had a description of a similar NPC before in a
Yeah.
previous campaign.
Who was
Let me
also-
give you this description of one Captain Adela. Adela is a dark-skinned woman with a long mass of dark hair, crimpled, curled, and tattered by the sea air. Her hair has been sun-bleached to the point where the tips are lighter. She looks spry and young, probably in her late 20s. Her skin is weathered from the day she spent at sea, with crow's feet beginning to form around her eyes, but she has a bright smile. Adela wears a light brown coat that hangs past her half-calf boots. Friends, do we have our first cameo?
Our first in-person
First-
cameo.
First
Yeah.
NPC cameo.
Yes, not a book.
Do we?
I hope we do.
I hope so.
I hope we do.
so.
She was a.
And like
she
she's
had
the,
a boat.
like you're saying, she's sort of the right age. She's like she matches the description so much. And then who is this younger, similar-looking fellow with her? Who's about
20.
Who's about 20?
He's 20. We don't know if he looks a lot like her, but he is a young human man.
With darker, ruddy skin.
I mean, to play devil's advocate, he could just be a young ship deckhand.
Of course, of
Right,
course.
he could. But
He
the
could be her like
20-year mark,
protege. Is
The
campaign
20s.
significant?
friends, I am so excited to see who these people are. However, that is where the episode ended, so it's gonna have to wait. I'm so excited if it's Captain Adela, guys. I love me some female
want it to be
pirates.
Captain Adela, and I want more of this new turtle that we get to know. Super excited. I want to
Very.
hear him play his pipe organ.
Yes.
There's so much in this episode that made me so happy.
This
Yeah.
is a very good episode.
I'm very excited going forward for some of the new things we are getting.
So much packed into this episode that didn't have a lot of action in it.
No, but
It was a heavy RP
it was
episode.
one of those heavy RPO where I didn't get bored because there was just so
It
much
was-
exciting
right.
stuff happening.
It was
It
an
wasn't a
amazing
shopping
episode.
trip.
It was a really good episode. I was really happy.
And there we have it, guys.
I think
Mamma
that's what we
mia!
got. Mamma Mia! Join us next week for Mamma Mia 2. Electric Boogaloo. I don't know.
That's not a song they sing.
That's not what happens.
Here we go again, guys.
Here we go.
Here we go again. Well, thank you everyone for chatting with us.
Yeah, thanks.
Hit that submit button or whatever it is called anymore.
Smash
Smash the
them
like button.
hearts.
Smash them. We love you, and just
Follow
love
us-
us in return. That's all we ask.
Follow
Um,
us on Twitch at Critters D&D. Follow us on Twitter at Critical Reroll.
but
Find
don't,
our podcast.
but don't be that guy that follows people around.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't. We
in
don't
real
know.
life. Don't.
Don't condone that. Find our podcast wherever you can find podcasts. We try to put them up before the previous episode so that you guys get a nice list before the previous episode. Wow, that's wrong. Before the next episode.
In the future!
So you guys, we put spoilers before it even happens. Yeah, I'm Kate, and you can find me at CMonster on Twitter and not underneath Nicodranus, I promise.
I am Dustin. You can find me at GeoNerd on Twitter and Twitch. And I might be under Nicodranus.
I'm Jess. I'm at go_JG on Twitter and Twitch, and I don't know, I'm right here.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone,
guys.
for hanging out, coming
Thanks,
hanging out.
guys!
Remember, we do this live on Sunday nights, so feel free to join us here. If not, you can do our question sheet. Make sure you get in suggestions for topics or for questions in a spoiler-friendly manner, so you're not bothering your friends. And we love you all.
I love you very
Thanks,
much.
guys!
Bye, guys.
See you later, bye!
I don't know why you're screaming, dog.
I like that puppy barked right at the end.
She's going crazy. Oh, I forgot to mute us. So now
Oh, we're talking about a puppy. Oh no.